answer the question. Fred, with the four of us have I've known you now for more than 25 years. Possibly up to 30. Count that high. Over that period of time, we've had a lot of joy. Over that period of time now, we've got to know you fairly well. In that period of time, we've seen you do a lot of things. Over the next few minutes, although we have a problem now with time constraints, plus a constraint in regard to ethics. However, over the next few minutes, Carmack is going to visit Cat's household. Let me take it over.
Okay, we put a bunch of questions and answers together that we think really apply to Fred's life. Some of them are a little risque, and I hope y'all will understand. Some of them are inside because, you know, we all lived on Crazy Drive growing up, but I think most of y'all will understand. I think
If you don't like them, then an incontinent camel TT on your lawn.
Okay, the first question is, I'm sorry, the first answer is the party.
The party. What did Fred once think was a trip to Africa?
X-rated, 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 X-rated.
X-rated X-rays. And the question is, what kind of film has Fred really been developing on? The next answer is Monica Lewinsky.
Monica Lewinsky. What encouraged Fred to take up cigars?
Next answer is Northern Cousin Bunny.
Sounds like an insider.
Way inside.
And the question is, who is Fred's anatomy professor in medical school? Next answer is a hole-in-one.
Give y'all a minute on this. Hole in one. How many of y'all old enough to remember this one, Johnny Parsons? Hole in one. What makes cigars from golf so desirable? He's actually what I think.
All right, the next answer is Charles Jockey Shorts. Charles Jockey Shorts.
Charles Jockey Shorts. The question is, what did Fred wear for the first 5 days of the 91 Young Leadership Mission?
Very inside.
The next answer is pussy. And they were
Listen. What was Fred's last name before he changed it to Ted? The next answer is arm intact.
Arm intact. How does Fred prepare for skiing? The next answer is filet mignon.
Filet mignon. What was the minion Fred loved before his conversion?
14,250.
$250,040. And the question is, what were Fred's 1998 synagogue dues? The next answer is jogging, golf, radiology, and darts.
Jogging, golf, radiology, and darts. Name 3 or 4 things that Fred has gotten tired of.
Photography and Doris.
Photography and Doris. And the question is, which of these two will Fred tire of next? The last answer is Fred's family.
The answer is Fred's family. And the question are, who are the precious jewels in Fred's life who will give him many years of pleasure during his retirement?
To roast or to toast, we have to decide, one way or another, to still your hide. Some may know you as Dr. Katz, a guy who wears many hats. A friend and a community leader is your dad, a man also known as Rabbi Fred. Many interests you'll want to pursue. Now you're retired, that's what you'll do. From radiology to photography you'll go. You'll be quite busy and all gung-ho. Fred, you must be thrilled a bunch, but little did you know is our hunch that Doris must be thinking, Fred, for better or worse, but not for lunch.
Neighbors, there's going to be get our mail and every time we go out of town. Julia Leonard. Fred's retirement, a happy event should be. No work, just play, with plenty of time for photography. But Fred, the psychology is all incorrect. The result of your retirement is having a negative effect. Retirement is fine for you, but not for us. This major change has caused us reason to fuss. Your decision should have been more of a concern. How would the taxes adjust?
brand new. He's only coming to us. You see, was we can pick up the mail, do it quietly. When we return home from work every night, from work time every night, we see Fred relaxing in his garden. What a depressing sight. Or worse still, Fred says to us, pick up the mail. We are off on a trip again, this time to Israel. This grievance list is painful and long. The time is short, so I won't go on. So Fred, now seriously, your retirement is the culmination of hard work and success. You really do deserve it. Good luck and God bless you.
Fred's a very spiritual man. He and Doris really like to spread their spirituality around too. Fred probably has a lot of y'all on his email list. Every Shabbos he sends Parsha and some wonderful medrash along with it. And Fred's spirituality has extended to a number of shuls in the metro area. In fact, they even considered possibly making a change of residence to accommodate one of these shuls, but that has since been abandoned. I think at present, Fred and Doris are members of about 3 shuls. They usually keep it at least 3. There's around 30 shuls in the metro area. There's probably a few that they haven't hit yet. But I thought that it might be appropriate, since Fred is now a retiree, and they do like to travel, that in their travels they could have memberships in some synagogues around the world. So we have obtained some complimentary memberships. Synagogue in Florence. The Alta Nushul, which is the oldest functioning synagogue in Europe, is in Prague. The Portuguese synagogue in Amsterdam, and there might be some other things in Amsterdam. Synagogue in Kaifeng. That actually serves Chinese food at the Kiddush. And lastly, Frank Lloyd Wright Synagogue up in Elmwood Park, Pennsylvania. And I thought this might enable Fred and Doris to have a place that would make them feel at home when they're traveling around the world.
Okay, and now if anybody here has not met our children, I think everybody has.
I just want to say we are very proud of you and honored to be your children. And we want to get you some things for your retirement. We know you have a lot of time and the things that we have for you. So let's look in here. The first thing we The first thing we bought you was 2 life preservers for your grandchildren to go on your sailboat.
Yeah, and for the golf, since your active membership of the Stanley Club, I went ahead and got you a brand new titanium Big Bertha driver. Go on and golf.
Yes,
I'm golfing anymore. Not into golf anymore.
And since, we're so into that train set, it was like so cool. We go to the mountains, we get all the train with you. Train.
Train? Oh, we got into the train then. They used to work out. We go to the gym a lot. We got your weight belt. Right, weight belt. And we got you some weight here. He's not into working out. He doesn't work out anymore.
You've been working on a dollhouse for your grandchildren since I was in college. Your dad boy for your doll.
I need a granddaughter.
And you know, we know that you were so into your biking, you had up all the equipment that we got you a new bike bag.
Oh, we're not into biking. He doesn't need a bike anymore. He's not into bike. Now, I know that over the years you've been, coached certain stages of religion and kosher and kashrut, and these days very religious and kosher, but just in case, things change, we bought you a package of bacon. And when you're done with Judaism, we bought you the Quran.
You used to go to the golf club for Thursday meetings?
Here's a couple of passages.
Hey, Fred called me tonight.
Every time we go on vacation, we have to make a stop at the grocery store for cupcakes. Now you're on a permanent vacation.
I still need cupcakes.
Oh, and
Ours cupcakes at the soccer field.
and for your running, we got you some new soles for your insoles for your shoes for your running.
He doesn't run anymore.
Doesn't run anymore either.
Seriously, Dad, we're just, like I said, we're happy, for all the friends that are here, all prove that you're just a terrific dad, and I'm sure you're a terrific coworker and friend. And proud of you, and don't forget what's today?
I think it's Tuesdays and Thursdays he's working hours, and Mondays. Okay, I think next on the list is Fred's partner, Bruce.
No, I'm not. No. One of the only nights I have made. Basically, there's probably 1,000 stories I can tell, but one of the primary stories I think is I think I met Fred in February of 1979 or 1980. Yeah, February of 1980, and that was when I was first looking around for a job, and he basically, was telling me all these different things about, what to expect and all this. And I went home and decided, yeah, I'm going to do the job. So I called him back and I said, yeah, I'll take the job. And I said, you are still giving it, aren't you? He said, yeah, still open. I said, okay. So I got down here and I found out that being a partner is like being married. Okay. And this is our 5 years together. And so anyway, the thing is that after all these years, I'm now going to pass graciously back the baton to Doris because she'll have to spend all the time that I spent with Fred. And now she's going to have to teach him the things that I couldn't. So anyway, good luck and best wishes to you. And I wish you would have not made this decision, but I know you did, and that's the way it is. So anyway, best wishes to you.
And now that we're on the doctor circuit, that's one we'll need to go to. Chris?
My wife's
New Millennium Fred. Retirement you should not dread. You can travel the world, get some hobbies afloat, and whenever you wish, go to bed. With Doris right close by your side, and your grandkids you can both take great pride. You can putz in the yard, no need to work hard. You've earned it, enjoy the ride. You and your bride can remain a great pair, and never have a worry or care. If you heed this advice, always try to be nice, and stay out of Doris's hair.
1984, when I was very, very poor. Fred was a doc I did admire. I never thought that he'd retire. By the by, the time did pass. I caught and married my wife, Cass. Now, Fred and Doris say they're a-quittin', and I'm sure they won't be sittin'. They'll be running both here and there to all the nations without a care. And Fred, who likes to wear the blue, will now go by the name of Sue. Picture. You gotta see the picture.
I think he wants to try. I think he wants to wear it. I don't know where you kept your beaver that day.
In honor of Fred's retirement, now that you're retired, Fred, we have a whole envelope full of valuable coupons for you. The first coupon we have for you is one helicopter rescue off of a skiing mountain in Colorado.
Next coupon is one pass to run with the Federation crowd on Mount Vernon Highway.
And on your many travels, we have one free coupon for a coach upgrade from an aisle seat to a window seat. Photograph all the wildlife outside.
Okay, this is one you're going to appreciate a lot. Coupon for one free pass for a Federation meeting.
And come September, you're going to love this one. One prime parking space for the high holidays at the NATO.
This coupon is for 5 extra sunny days to enjoy your convertible. I find it so actually. One coupon for 3 beautiful sunsets in the next photo safari. And last but not least, 1 second wind on the next beach from river.
Marcia Burke, Bob joining you?
Better. Right, you remember your class. I guess.
You got school up there?
Friends and new millennials. In the winter of '79, you and Doris came to Fort Lauderdale for a little sunshine. On forbidden seafood we forwarded eat. By evening end, you convinced us to do some Atlanta time. Through the years of parties, conventions, BBYO, and our kids, and hospital chats, great place in our hearts is where you'll be at. We raise our glasses to give you a toast. With Doris at your side, we will always be able to boast. Retirement is the greatest.
Look at that boxer with a bow on it out there.
Friends, your days of X-rays have come to an end, and we'd like to toast our dear friend. What will you do now that you're retired? Think of the places where you could be hired. We heard the Gold Club needs a photographer on staff. All those naked ladies will make you laugh. In Warner Robins, there's also a position. If driving there is what you'll be missing. They could use you in sales at REI. They need a good, strong hiker, no lies. We're told Budget Reynolds needs a travel guide for RVs to Alaska for you and cars to ride. There's also an opening at CompUSA to teach a class on how to email tourists today. Guess you already have a job at the Gram. Jacob and Alex think you're a champ. No need to apply to be our friend. We'll keep you until the very end. We wish you many good years ahead of health, happiness, and manly late mornings.
Now, right now, I don't have anyone named on the list, but if anybody wants to say open mic.
Doris?
Adrian and I,
Doris?
maybe the only two people in the room that lived with Fred that weren't married to him. We were talking, there's really not a lot we can tell you because he was a pretty good roommate. He changed his underwear every day, and the toupee he would put where you couldn't see it. Yeah, the girls that he had up, he couldn't have been nicer. And he was a trooper. I mean, this man was in pain, and he traveled, you know, after dinner, couldn't get his arm up to get that check, you know. And that may be why you're able to retire.
I tell you what, one thing about Fred, he's like a goodwill ambassador in Israel because he has his phone book. And I mean, you know, it's amazing when your phone bill was more than the hotel bill. Because he called everybody.
But the serious part of this is we were with Jeff Ram all bachelor on this trip, and every night was a bottle of vodka and a parsha of Torah. It's an experience we'll all treasure. All right.
For those of you who don't know, this is Fred's cousin Nat, who lives in Jersey City, and she's now for the weekend.
I just have a little biography of Fred and myself. First time I saw Fred when I came home on a furlough from service, I took a look at Fred. I didn't know if it was this way, the bed, and the crib was this way. It was very tiny, and he grew up very fast. And Fred had, besides his mother, 3 other aunts, one of which was my mother, my mother Rose. One day I came home from school, I take a look, I went into the house, and Fred had my mother in a chair, tied up in a rope, running around. She was the Indian, he was the cowboy. What are you doing?
I was looking at the matches.
When he was down here, Fred was always generous to me. When he had a boat one time, 2 young ladies, Carrie and Michelle, we went on a boat. I see them jumping off, and it was just, I couldn't believe it. Here I'm holding on to the boat, and these 2 young ladies are swimming around. When we got to the dock, I don't know if it was the first time or the second time, Fred looked up, and I said between the wharf over there, Freddie, help me. I said, you can do it, you can do it. And I pulled myself up, flying. And that was the last time Fred allowed me to get on the boat. And years went by, of course. Fred moved from Gravy Drive. We had Leslie and Chuck Lowe's, Dina's neighbors, and other Madulas over there. There's a whole bunch over there. And then he moved over here. We lost sight of them for a few years. And afterwards, coming back over here, and I've been back many times, Fred has always been my doctor, more or less, my best friend. In the family, he's been most wonderful. I can go on and on with Fred, but I'll always remember the background. And I see the girls now who are mamas, and you guys swear by them. I stood still, and these girls are growing up and have children of their own. But I congratulate you all, Doris and Fred and Anna, your mother over here. It's wonderful to see you all, and congratulations. Congratulations.
I'm not going to bore everybody with all these letters, but I just want to tell you that you received a lot of, quote, telegrams that they're really fabulous. I guess that's what you call them these days. But we got regards from the Wellmans. I'll write that later. Mike Dowski, the Listwood boy. Sam Smith at AOCR. There's a very long letter from Harry Fawcett.
Bill Clinton.
And Geraldine wrote a letter, Nanny Sloan, and Mike and Sharon. So, to thank him to my doctor.
I'll say a few words. I didn't really prepare very anything to say, but I just think of a couple interesting things. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and I want you to know, somebody said, boy, you know, you have a lot of friends, and I said, you know, I feel I've really been blessed. I do have a lot of friends, and all the people here, I feel I'm more than acquaintances, and I feel you are truly my friends, because I do have a ton of acquaintances, as a lot of people know. I mean, I've been very blessed to be active in a lot of different organizations, both professionally and in charity work and whatever, and you're not those people. The people here are people that I consider close for one reason or another, either from recent endeavors or some from way back when. But I do feel very close to everybody here, and I think everybody here is very special to me and also to Doris. People used to ask me a lot of times, you know, why did you become a radiologist, and you know, what did you do what you do? And it's interesting when you look back at a life, or a career. Hopefully it's not my life. I don't have many more years, God willing, to go on, and why you do certain things. And I always felt that I've been very, very blessed, because I think, well, I know God has a hand in all of our endeavors. And I've always felt that, for me especially, it's been interesting because I just kind of always felt that I sort of fell into things, it seems to me. But looking back, I think there was a plan. It may not have been my plan, but it was somebody else's plan. I originally, I was a kid, I went to high school, I came from a lower middle class background, and I had no desires to go to universities or any fancy colleges or anything. I never knew I had the option to even go out of town, out of New York, to go to school. And I didn't know what to do, and I had a cousin, Matt, who you just heard from, who was a cousin at the time who I looked up to very much, because he was a teacher, and he had gone to college. We didn't have that many people in my family at that time that had even been through college and whatever. And I remember we talked at one time, and he actually, I don't know if he remembers it, but at least the way I remember it, he actually suggested I might consider pharmacy, because I was always interested in science and I liked that kind of stuff, and it was only 4 years, whatever. So I did. I went to pharmacy school just because Matt had actually made that recommendation, and I really didn't ever have any desire to become a pharmacist. I just kind of did. And after being in pharmacy school for 2 or 3 years, I had to go to work in a pharmacy. I had never worked in a pharmacy in my life. But I did work for my father in his grocery store all my life since I was about 14 years old. And when I worked in the pharmacy, I realized that it was just like working in the grocery store, especially in those days. It was very similar, except we also counted controls and made preparations. I said, you know, why did I go to school to do all this stuff? And I went to my dad at the time, I remember, and I said, Dad, you know, I think I'd like to switch schools. This is stupid. I don't want to be a pharmacist. He said, son, he said, you start something, you finish it.
I said, let's go to college and play around. I'm not going to do it. I'll work day and night, and I'll take it through.
And so I thought, well, in those days we respected our parents. As a matter of fact, I messed up with some of our old friends. Some of my old friends recently, the last 10 years or so, people I grew up with, and we had this conversation, and we said, you know, it's interesting. As kids, our parents told us stuff, and we just did it. We didn't, you know, we just did it. It's quite different than it is in some respects today. And so, anyway, I decided to finish. But in pharmacy school, I met a good friend, and unfortunately he couldn't be here tonight. He had his father was sick in Florida, my friend Harry Schwartz. And we became very good friends, and I said I didn't want to become a pharmacist, and he didn't either. And he said, you know, why don't we become doctors? I said, you know, first of all, I can't stand blood. I get woozy every time I think of blood. Well, I know I have a friend here, very common with that shop where he is. And anyway, but because of him, actually, I considered medicine. And I said, well, if we could get into a school together, we would go. And as luck would have it, we both got into the same school in Des Moines, Iowa. And we went to school. So there I going to be a doctor. And then I went to take an internship thinking I was going to be an internist, actually. I liked internal medicine. And one day in cardiology, in the cardiology rotation, and a lot of the other people don't remember here, but in the old days we had what was called conventional fluoroscopy, and I don't know if anybody remembers, but the radiologist used to wear red goggles, but he had a light adapt. He couldn't see any, he had to adapt to darkness. And my first recollection of anything with radiology, we're in this cardiology lab, and we're going to see a patient who is going to be fluoroscoped. So he said, the cardiologist said, okay, everybody put on red goggles. There's about 6 of us in this group, and we all put on these red goggles. I thought they were kind of some magical goggles. I didn't know why we were doing it. So I put on these goggles, and then he said, okay, and he talked for a while. He said, okay, now we're going to bring in this patient. And then he brought in this patient, and this patient had mitral stenosis, so valvular disease, which is a heart problem. And there's specific things you see on fluoroscopy. And he said, okay, turn out the lights, turn out the lights. He said, okay, now look, notice the heart's doing this, and we're going to give the patient some barium to swallow, and notice that the esophagus is being divided. And he was explaining all these things. I don't see anything. I see nothing. Nothing. I'm feeling like, unbelievable. And they're saying, well, do you see it? And they say, oh yeah, I see it. Unbelievable. I see nothing. And then anyway, the patient goes out, and so help me God, this is true. And the guy turns on the lights, and I look around. I'm the only one wearing red goggles. I said, you know, maybe I should become a radiologist. So anyway, I became a radiologist, and like I say, I think I've been very blessed in everything. I've been blessed to make a decision. Also, it was serendipity to come to Atlanta. The only reason we came to Atlanta, Doris and myself, is that I happened to have been drafted during the Vietnam War. We spent a year at Columbus, Georgia, at Martin Army Hospital in the radiology department there. And at that time, my chief of radiology told me, he said, Fred, I really like you a lot. I've got a lot of respect for the Army. But I requested that you stay here for 2 years, so I want you and Darwin to know, don't worry, you're not going to Vietnam. I said, great. I spoke to my friend who was in Vietnam, and I said, it was Terry at the time. I said, Terry, request Fort Benning because we're here, and we're going to be here for the next year. So he requested Fort Benning. I saw Terry for about 12 hours in New York as I was going to Vietnam. He was coming to the States, so he came to Fort Benning, and it's all true. And I went to Vietnam. And but I always remembered Atlanta, and we liked Atlanta. And Terry, my friend, went into practice in Atlanta. And in 1972, when I was finishing up my residency in Detroit, Terry said to me, you know, they're expanding this hospital down here, and why don't you come down and look for a job, which I did. And through him, more or less, we came down and we spent 27 years, and had a terrific life here. We've made terrific friends, our original friends from Craving Tribe, I love very much. All my new friends from various endeavors, I also love very much. I've been blessed to have 2 wonderful daughters and 2 great son-in-laws. I couldn't be blessed anymore by having 2 great grandsons, and I'm waiting for some granddaughters. And again, I'd like to thank you all for coming, and hopefully maybe we'll all be together at my 85th birthday party. Thank you.